Culture of Gubalakuma. We're here in the top of Coom. This is just over the Kerry border from Cooley, about, I suppose, 10 miles from Kilgarvan. And this is the highest pub in Ireland, proven. And here with me we have Eileen Banachil. She's Eileen Tapacoom, as she's better known to us. Eileen, can you tell us a bit about the pub here?
Well, I suppose I'm fourth generation here of the Creedons. It was my husband's great-great-grandmother had it first, and he started out as a shebeen in the olden times. And the law at that time, there was no licences, but running a pub as a shebeen. Then it came in the law that they had to take out a licence, and the local sergeant at Kilgarvan advised the woman of the house to take out a licence, and so she did. And the licence that time was only 2 and 6, and it continued from there.
Very good. So how long ago would that be? Like, I mean, is that a...
Oh God, I suppose, I don't know, good few years back.
It is here a long time, I suppose.
Yeah.
Do you get many people here then? Like, I mean, it is very kind of out of the way really, I suppose, is it?
It is, yeah, we get a lot of people. Well, I suppose the most support people we have is from Cooley. Cooley are the most people that supports this pub, really.
But it is on we're on the main, this is the main Cork-Kenmare road.
Well, we get a lot of tourists during the year.
During the summertime.
During the summertime.
You wouldn't get that many during the winter.
And of course, it's a meeting place for a lot of people that go to Kenmare to discourse on a Saturday night or a Friday night, whatever the case may be. They all meet here and pack into 1 or 2 or 3 cars, whatever.
And back then for Dublin,
back to Dublin to Kenmare, yes.
You get quite a few people from the Kerry side as well, from
oh yes, well, fair
like.
play. Any time they're passing, they always stop for a drink.
I get it. Yeah, yes, there you go. You wouldn't have that many during the week then, like, I mean, I suppose the weekends would be mainly the...
Well, weekends, yeah.
Main nights,
yeah, Friday, Saturday and Sunday night, really, you know.
And is there music here very often then? Like?
There is, yeah. Quite a lot of music on the weekend always. If there's any musicians around the locality in Cooley, especially, they're here.
So there's always back here that congregate?
Yes, yeah.
Weekend nights. There's quite a lot of good singers and things back
here. Oh, there's a lot of good singers, yeah. The best, I suppose, you could find, really.
Yeah, great characters, alright. We're going to hear some of them later on, I hope, anyway.
Yeah.
Some have arrived already and more are yet to come.
That's right, yeah.
Which I suppose is a bit early for them.
It's a bit early yet, yeah.
And drink is too dear.
I suppose it is. If the government brought down the point, it would be a great thing, alright, yes.
There are a lot more people here, alright.
Yes.
I suppose we might as well carry on with some music, so, will we?
Right.
Well, to start off tonight anyway, we have 2 of Eileen's own children here who do music as well. First of all, we have Siobhan anyway, who's... What age is Siobhan now?
Siobhan is 10 years since Christmas night.
And is she long at the box? She's playing the box?
She's playing the box with a couple of years.
And how long is John at it then, or how age is John?
John is 13, a couple of years, 2 years.
Oh, but you say they're good, I suppose that's not a fair question.
Well, they're not good, I suppose, but they're not bad, I suppose.
That's not a very fair question.
Yeah.
What are you going to play, or what are you going to play now for us, Siobhan?
3 flowers and the Rami Carrick and...
The 3 flowers?
And the Rami Carrick.
The Rami Carrick.
And the 10 outside and...
The 10 outside.
Sally Gardens.
And the Sally Gardens. Well, I'll tell you, I'll move out your way now here. You can come down and play away for us. Right. We now have a few local musicians here who want to play a few tunes for us. We have Padre on the concertina and Colin Hamilton on the flute. What tunes are you going to play for us, Henry?
Well, the first one's called the Granny in the Corner.
Granny in the Corner.
I don't know the name of the song. It's probably the...
Por Cananium. Went to it. Right, and that was Hammy Hamilton, or Colin Hamilton, Hammy Hamilton we call, as we call him around here, and Padre O'Reilly playing a few tunes for us on the flute and the box, on the concertina. Hammy is you're not a local man, Hammy.
I'm not, no, I was born in Belfast.
You were born in Belfast. You could be called a local man now anyway, like, I mean.
I suppose my time is nearly served now after that.
And what brought you to Cooley at all, like, I mean, in the first place? Or?
Well, the very first time, actually, I remember I came for a weekend to Cork about 12 years ago, and I ended up in Cooley for the night inside in the Boron, actually. And then after that, I made a few trips down, and eventually I sort of I came down for a month to do some work for the university, and I sort of never went back. I ended up staying, and then I met a local girl, married her, and that was the end of the
How
story.
about
I
you?
was,
We have that too. But you're making flutes now in Coolade. I mean, how's
that's right. Yeah. Well, I suppose how I got into that. I started off playing the flute, and then I was always the sort of person to take things apart and put them together. So I ended up sort of repairing flutes, and then at that stage of the game, and say in the late 70s, there was nobody in Ireland really making flutes. So I decided to give it a go, and it just sort of went from there.
And you're making a fairly reasonable living out of it anyway. Like, I mean,
I suppose so. Yeah, depends what you call reasonable, you know. But
what's this?
it's not
here
too
about
bad.
You somebody was telling me that you were after writing a book. Can you tell me something?
I
about that?
am, yes. That more or less grew out of the same thing in the sense that it's a book about the flute and how it's used in traditional music.
But I know you have some kind of you have a degree in ethnomusicology or something.
That's right, from Queens.
From
Yeah.
Queens, and
Yeah.
does that have some bearing in the book? Like, or is
I
it
suppose it does, in the sense that there'd be an element of that sort of training in the way the book is written, you know. But it's not. That makes it sound very sort of highfalutin, you know. It's a book just for the ordinary flute player, you know. It's not a.
basically a book about flute? Like.
It is. It's not a particularly academic book, you know. It's just a book about.
But is it the history of the flute? Like, I mean, or is it?
There's a section about the history of the flute. There's a section about the particular history of the flute in Ireland, and there's a tutor involved in it as well. And there's just lots of sort of general information, you know. Like I suppose it could be subtitled what the flute player wants to know but was afraid to ask. You know? That might sum it up.
Is the book on the market at the moment? Or
I hope it will be shortly. It's Mercier Press in Cork that are
Mercier
publishing
Press.
it, so it's with the publishers at the moment. So,
and what's the book called?
it hasn't. The working hasn't actually got a final title yet, but I suppose the title will be the Irish Flute Player's Handbook.
The Irish Flute Player's Handbook by
Yeah, that's
Colin Hamilton.
That's sort of a working title. Just.
So if you see it, it's a good buy, I'd say.
Oh, definitely.
So now you're going to play a tune on the flute. This is a flute you made yourself.
It is, yeah. That's one of the
So you're going to
stable, yeah.
play a tune on this one, anyway.
Yeah, this is a tune called The Monaghan Twig.
The Monaghan Twig.
It's sort of a northern.
There isn't a story behind the name of that. Or?
So I don't know, except it's obviously a tune from the northern branch of the family, you know.
Seanis an ceoltáile a hagan se dálínsigh tá ceirhíon deag dúis na agus macmicta dálíomhlínsigh se is fer an chaútí plán sin study agus marinde agus tá se chun ráfort a haintúna. You're going to play two tunes for us now on the box.
Yeah.
Agus calendáisiún haine tú.
The Boys of Blue Hill and the Cork Iron Play.
Anna bh aspa bra so.
Right.
I know we'll have a song, I think, from Danny Kaler, one of our more favourite singers, local singers anyway. He sings quite a lot on the top of Coom. Danny, what are you going to sing for us?
I'll sing you Bannistrand.
Lovely, no better man. Fire away, sure. Which way is?
It was on a Good Friday morning, all in the month of May. A German boat was signalling far out in Tralee Bay with 20,000 rifles intending for to land, but no signal answer from the shore on lonely Bannistrand.
Lovely, Danny.
No signal answer from the shore, Sir Roger sadly said. No comrades here to meet me, alas they must be dead. But I will do my duty, for thus I mean to land. And in a small boat he rowed ashore to lonely Bannistrand. The RIC were searching for Sir Roger high and low. They found him in McKinnis fort, saying at least you are our foe. I am Sir Roger Casement, I came to free my land with a German boat of rifles to lonely Bannistrand. They took Sir Roger a prisoner and they sailed for London town, saying you are our empire's enemy and a traitor to the crown. You are our empire's enemy and a charge you'll have to stand for bringing German rifles to lonely Bannistrand.
Lovely, Danny.
It was in an English prison that they led him to his death. I'm dying for my country, he says with his last breath. They buried him in English soil, far from his native land, and the wild waves sang his requiem on lonely Bannistrand. They brought Sir Roger home again in the year of 65, and with his comrades of 16 in peace and tranquilized. His last fond wish has been fulfilled, for to lie on Irish soil, and the wild waves roll in peace again on lonely Bannistrand.
Lovely, lovely, Danny. Lovely song.
Good stuff, huh?
Well, on Sunday last Saturday, or best wound tour, would you believe? 2 teachers there we had dancing a set. 2 local people, one from Ballavoona, one from Cooley, and they danced half a jig set, and they only did 2 parts because I suppose maybe they're not fit or something. Anyway, Shane Kate fell out of town talking enough, no. They gone out Halloween. I suppose you could call him a local man, like.
I know about it.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's kind of debatable, but you're near enough to a local man now anyway.
I'm only one of the other refugees from up the country, to say.
From up the country, but it's very debatable. I could be called a refugee myself, but
Nearly.
anyway, you're a poet.
I don't know, am I?
So they say anyway. You're called a poet. Sure.
Well, I'd say I practice the bardic trade. We'll leave it at that.
Having heard your verse anyway, I'd be inclined to call you a poet myself.
Well, thank you.
You're entirely welcome. Would you have some bit of a recitation for us, I do believe?
Well, it was only a bit of tomfoolery, you know. It isn't poetry or anything highfalutin like that at all. But
We shouldn't take it seriously. No.
well, maybe you should, you know.
No, we should.
But it was something I put together of a rainy afternoon when I was idle
Yes,
long ago.
a fine trade that.
There's a thing called The Man from the Mountain.
Oh, yeah.
And the man from Del Monte smiled and said, "You can have 'em sliced or you can have 'em whole. And either way my pineapples are pure gold." And the man from the ministry said, "You're welcome to the fold and you'll pay no taxes and get your grants just like it's told." And the man from the media wrote in capitals bold, being grateful for the advertisement he'd just sold, that these pineapples must surely be solid gold. And the man from the mountain said the man from Del Monte could stick his pineapple up his hole. And the man from Del Monte smiled sweetly at the twit and said his great-grandmother was Irish and a wit, and anyway, the Emerald Isle really was his thing. And the man from the ministry said with a grin, "Pay no heed to the Egypt," and called for more gin.
Oh, yes.
And the man from the media penned an erudite panegyric, praising the benefits of progress and of foreign companies coming in. And the man from the mountain said the man from Del Monte should shove his pineapple up where the Kerryman hid his threepenny bit. And the man from Del Monte smiled and counted his cash and said to the man from the ministry, Thanks a million for the million, and also for the factory with the view of the mountain where the pineapples grow." And the man from the ministry said, "You're welcome, pal, and thank you for the jobs and also for the kickback." And the man from the media wrote that 'twas all very grand, and that anyone who rocked the boat was a confounded ass. And the man from the mountain said the man from Del Monte could stick his pineapple in his factory up the highest rafter of his arse. And the man from Del Monte smiled, though rather sore, and said, "This sort of thing drove capital from our shore." And the man from the ministry was grim, and by 4 that afternoon had spoken to a friend of a friend who swore that it wouldn't be a problem and he'd get it under control. And the man from the media screamed and raised a few roar about ungrateful peasants who created such an unholy show. And the man from the mountain spoke no more.
Well, now we're going to carry on with a tradition that this is unique to this particular pub here in Top Coom. There's a great singing tradition here, but it's quite a lot. But it's called the Noble Call, and one person starts singing, and then they carry it on from one to the next. So, to start this off, we'll have Rationally Weather for a song. Here, please.
Singing
deire menig an áras, is bím se go sirí, cáis tah na buile. Tá bahaní ag an fénig, sfana gína gceannta, sfada bhíon an barna hegum se glem sear na gána, Hallelujah na gána bána, Hallelujah na gána de balam, Hallelujah na gána gealbána, na gána maidin háirige dásar na bánta. Faitar gam canagus, faitar gam borach, is faitar das a siach, na gyrad mach a dwachter. Ceol sí na crunne, fed a hir chur an chlosif, scar vinne lumsa gem noch na má tacht an bhil. Hallelujah na gána bána, Hallelujah na gána beat the barlum, Hallelujah na gána gealbána, na gána maidin háirige dásar na bánta. Raimi dear an énoch, is canna mi gána, is cul mi dear ariad, amach ins na glántif. Is a siad an rachán, gas bar an et an galda, gas tuk a siad a valle, chun an vainge gar a taurig, Hallelujah na gána bána, Hallelujah na gána beat the barlum, Hallelujah na gána gealbána, na gána maidin háirige dásar na bánta. Hamilton blechan san cahal stocha gur a bhrán. Chalm tualah a bhrán a go san cahal. Bara bit tuair féir.
Brian anyway, do it. I suppose the usual, I suppose, you can go on, I suppose. I am a lonely exile that has left my own dear nation far to seek a situation in a land far o'er the foam. I sailed across the ocean wide, through hardship and through danger, and for years I've been a stranger from my own dear native home, where once I lived contentedly. The friends I knew surrounded me, care nor grief there worried me, nor made my heart feel sore. But now my days are closing, and I'm parted from my country, and kill the martyr's homely face my eyes shall ne'er see more. I have travelled to Columbia's shores, all toil and danger scorning, to the farthest eastern borders, and westwards to the deep, the broad extended cotton fields and plains of Alabama, the gold fields of Montana, and the Rockies wide and steep. I hunted for prosperity, but still it has eluded me. Black misfortune followed me where'er I roamed. But oft times in my anguish I cursed the fate that parted me from the comrades of my boyhood and my own dear Irish home. Sweet boyhood recollections, though will ever fondly be with me, to the friends I left behind me, far o'er the raging sea, and the dear Kilmartra, where one time I resided, but now I am divided by the ocean wide from thee. Age is overtaking me, and youth is fast forsaking me. The friends I left behind me, perhaps I'll ne'er see more. But until my days are over, and death has come and taken me, I fondly will remember the dear land that I adore. I suppose with a noble call comes to so glimmer Marion Holden's hoinge.
Níor chaile sríomh. Maidine nesh a Yarkeson's daughter Colleen. Her limbs are complete, she was neatly clothed in green. A Molly Bochelis a Belin Borovilish being, and I knew by her guess she'd play the hide and go seek. The greatest Fenley is there's the poggin o tree. She answered and said, young man, you are making too free. She dwarfs a Fenley that took fossil some arvney. I teach you to play a game called hide and go seek. The dagger men ve she dwarchiger vemutly. I'll tarry a while until more of this world I'll see. Mar time shro o quick diags nor should there be too young a great deal to play the hide and go seek. Mar cuddle and gloshin ta more chud catted of knee. Your mammy was younger than you when your face she did see. Na cred you o ein you gunyan and you valor the knee. So come with me home and we'll play the hide and go seek. Tá sló te bra chuir go gom hénig ba bog agus lí. and no one to care the milk, the butter or cheese. Better should crush the smishel at Fenigum he, and when we'll come from walking, 'tis we'll have a jolly good squeeze. The rare the rat at Tamor could come of the free, by your false seduction like Satan when he tempted Eve. Damach fish the chod is tall, good so that there'd be no chance at all you'd marry a girl like me. Is some o Calino Gihule far Tamil Shlee, that fortune might later favour her progeny. Fiach Cupid's Venus the Vila Hostan agree, and if you don't join me, my ghost will torment you in sleep. Be an ire Kugelorer, no Babin her lar adored she. The parents that reared me controlled by them I will be. Poor lad commendation is animo haggard lesh he's, and if your game will succeed then we'll play while the rest are asleep. Well, glad Yuji Chanoan, Yuji Gansulbran.
We'll sing in English song, Bob. No. I went to the races last July, far, far away. I backed a horse named Kidney Pie, far, far away. When my horse came in, I danced with glee. I went to fetch my LSD. Oh, but the bookie, where was he? Far, far away. Far, far away. My brother Jim's a fireman bold. He puts out fires. He went to a fire last night, I'm told. He puts out fires. The fire blew up some dynamite. Where poor Jim's gone, we don't know right. But wherever he is, sure he's all right. For he puts out fires. He puts out fires. My wife's mother was very ill. I pulled her through. Without the aid of doctor's skill, I pulled her through. They called me up at 4:30 to tell me that me mother-in-law was lying just outside death's door. So I pulled her through. I pulled her through. I'm in love with that charming girl. She's coming out tonight. She has eyes like diamonds, teeth like pearls. They're coming out tonight. I'll take her down some shady dell. I'm stony broke, it's hard to tell. But if she's got eyes like diamonds, well, they're coming out tonight. They are coming out tonight. Hello. I call on you, Mikey, now, my friend here, on you, Mikey, and Danny Taylor, and Danny Mikey also. I don't know what Danny Mikey knew, but the chance of any for a song, Danny wake up, will give you. Huh? Dan Lee, on you, Mikey. Taylor will start.
Come all ye wandering fellow men of every rank and station, and read a short oration that yet remains untold. You might have been an Austrian, a German or Bulgarian, but to all my vast experiences the truth I will unfold. When you'll hear of my disunity unveiled to the community, so take the opportunity of listening to me. You'll hear of foreign countries and of truthful calculations, and of a few relations in that beauty Scotland lays.
I went to see the world's edge when scarcely 16 years of age. A steerage passage I engaged on a ship called Iron Duke. I went on board on Dublin's wall, being southward bound for the Transvaal. I had a friend from Mount Escal and one from Donnybrook. Our noble ship had scarcely steamed when through my mind sad memories beamed. I thought of my own neighbours and their loving company. I thought of my own brother and my love for one another, and of a grey-haired mother in that beauty spot, Glanley.
We landed safe though suddenly at that British State Cape Colony. In search of manual labour I wandered near and far. I crossed the Orange River amongst Hottentots and Kafirs. Gave a file with Don the Masters on the Isle of Zanzibar. A Dutchman who admired my ways brought me to see the Himalayas. Oh, friends, dear me, I was amazed, they were awful high to see. We journeyed on through Hindustan along the river Ganges. No place in all my ranges like that beauty spot, Glanley.
This Dutchman who in health's decline had heard of cures in Palestine, persuaded me for to combine and along with him to go. We landed safe in Java and we journeyed through Jerusalem, the ancient city of Hebron and the ruins of Jericho. The Lebanon mountains, highest peaks, were like the McLeod's reeks, and from their summits you could see the Lake of Galilee. Likewise the river Jordan and the province of Samaria. But it always sounds contrary that the fairest was Glanley.
But those full times were drifting nigh when my faithful Dutchman friend and I about to part and bid goodbye, perhaps to meet no more. I stood forlorn on the quay, the ship that bore him sailed away. His memory in my mind shall stay till life's long days are o'er. In Palestine I'd made some coin, I'd rid of San Francisco's mines. Where to invest my capital, I thought a good idea. But often meditation, I would stop for speculation and go home for recreation to that beauty spot, Lanley.
All's providence and will its way, and therefore conscience must obey. I went on board and sailed away when my friend did me forsake. We landed safe in Frisco when the trees were blooming beautiful. 'Twas on that very evening, sure, there was a big earthquake. I was in bed and sleeping sound. I woke to find things tumbling round. And after that I heard no sound, no pain affected me. But on the following morning, when I recovered consciousness, I wrote of all my consequence to my home in fair Glenlea.
I told them in that letter that I'd lost my situation. Bad was my worldly station. I intended to go home. I hoped their generosity would help my exportation. And I went on relating how misfortune made me roam. I got the cash to pay my way without disaster or delay, and landed safe in Queenstown Quay on board the Chimpanzee. And after a long journey of 5 long hours duration, we reached the little station on the road to
fair Glenlea. As I approached the terminus, I viewed with consternation the awful congregation that assembled in the rain. I hoped some other person of worldly estimation to their eager expectation was coming on by train. But as I scanned each friendly face, friends and neighbours all time mates, assembled there in hundreds with a welcome home for me. They shouted with elation and they shook with great vibration. The surrounding elevation on the road to fair Glenlea. And so now we live contentedly among those grand old neighbors. Endowed with all the capers of good nature and delight, I found among the multitude a charming little creature. She was her admiration, she's my faithful, charming Irish wife. And when we meet on Sunday noon in that cozy spot called Top of Coom, where song and story would illume the hearts of you and me, and there amongst the multitude of grand old friends and neighbours, we're never tired of praising that beauty spot
Go on. Go on. I'm coming
Well, that was some idea of a typical night in the top of Coom here. To be truthful about it, we're only starting. So to finish up the night, myself and my sister Leah here will play 2 tunes. We're not sophisticated enough to know the names of the tunes, they're 2 tunes anyway. 2 jigs, I think.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Okay, so good night and thank you very much.
Some vahir kunstashan bocht snalu hani shan nashon sviert Keduk krate di id Lavan tresh blianes rahe hani karbjö kungen tro Skjuta passing en store aling Gussen var hele vår kutlån Lekers fin laude lauren var her Fjechen til grahing i varli Kjett var så laget
Oh, no, yeah.